Welcome, Weirdlings! I'm Mary the Knitting Developer, and we're gonna rule the world together. Welcome to Seven Wonders, where you play one of the ancient civilization leaders that built the wonders of the world. You can either be a warmonger, or a scientist, or a merchant, or any mixture of those things, as long as you get more victory points than your fellow players. As the leader of your civilization, you will move through 3 ages, building your civilization each age. The ages are represented by the numbers on the decks of cards. You'll go through 3 decks in total. At the very beginning of the game, you will be given a random wonder of the world. After you're dealt a random card, you're going to be given your board and 3 money. The decks will be set up according to the number of players you're playing with. Once the decks are set up, they'll be dealt out to all the players. Every player will end up with 7 cards in their hand to begin with. Unlike other games you've played in the past, Seven Wonders is played simultaneously. That means everyone's got 7 cards in their hand to begin with, and everyone will play 1 card from that hand at the same time. On your turn, in your deck of cards, you will pick one of those cards. You have the option to build the card. When you build the card, you'll pay the resource value and place it down in front of your board. The cards that you will probably build first will be your resource cards, mainly raw resources, which are the brown ones. You will also build refined resources, and that will help you build other structures later on. There are military cards, structure cards, merchant cards, and science cards. When you build a card, they will have a cost in the top right corner. That cost will either be the base building that you need, in which case it's a free upgrade, or the base materials you need to build the building. If the card has a little monetary symbol on top, you get that money as soon as you play it down, which is money that goes into your bank account. Your value as far as resources go is equal to the symbols that you see laying out in front of your civilization. You can use the resources of your neighbors when building, in case you don't have the resources yourself. When you go to play the card, you will pay each of your neighbors 2 coins for every resource you need from them. The other option is to build a wonder. When you build a wonder, you'll take your card, place it underneath the wonder you want to build, and pay the resource cost. Just like building a building, you can either buy those resources from yourself or from your neighbors. Building wonder, much like building a structure, gives you the same types of rewards, which means you could get money or victory points or more military points. The final option is to discard a card. When you discard a card, it will get placed out of the game and you'll be given 3 money. Once you've chosen the action you're going to take, you'll take your cards and pass them either to the left or right. On the back of the card, it tells you the direction of play. In the first round, it's counterclockwise, and in the second round, it's clockwise. Play will continue until you've played 6 of the 7 cards you started with. The 7th card will get discarded out of the game. After you've played all 6 cards, you'll resolve military conflict before starting the next age. Your military points will be judged directly with the military points of the player to your left and your right. Those are 2 very different military conflicts. Whoever has the most points wins, and they will gain victory points. Whoever has least points gets a losing victory point. Military points get more important as you move forward through the ages. The first age, it's only worth 1 victory point to win a military conflict. By the 3rd age, it's worth 5. After the military conflict's resolved, you'll set up the deck for the 2nd age, deal out the cards, and do it all over again. In the 3rd age, you have other ways to score victory points. One of those ways is off of merchant cards. Some of them have victory point conditions. In this case, you would gain a victory point for every merchant card you've laid down during the game. Or you can pick up guilds, which have a specific victory card or victory point condition on each one of them. More often than not, guilds are going to correspond to not just what you have in your civilization, but what your neighbors have in theirs. This one's interesting because you score 1 victory point for each of your losing friends that you've beat up throughout the game. Keep in mind when you're building, you can't own 2 of the same named cards. If you already own it, you gotta either pass it along or discard it. At the end of the game, you'll tally up your victory points to see who wins. Victory points are scored in multiple categories. The 7 Wonders, guys, they thought of you. They gave you an awesome little card. See this thing? It's amazing. You're not gonna be able to score without it. Each row is a category. First category, military points. Those little coins you collected for winning military conflicts, tally them up. Score goes there. Could end up with a negative score. Money. For every 3 money, you will score 1 victory point. Wonders. If there are any victory points on your wonders, you gain those. So if I'd built all of the roads, I would have gotten 10. Structures. Structures have victory points on them. That's why you build them. You will just tally up those points, put them down. In the 3rd age, some merchant structures give victory points. That's where you score these. Tally them up, it goes on there. Guilds. Guilds will have varying victory point conditions. This is just the spot where you do the math and put it on there. Finally, science structures. Your set of 3 different cards will be scored for 7 points. It's just a static. You get 7 points for each set of 3. For every identical card, you will score the squared value of that. So in this case, it would be 2 times 2, which is 4, or each one of these would be scored as 1 separately. You add that total together and that will become your science score. Here's my 3 strategy tips for playing Seven Wonders. 1, become a warmonger early. If you become a warmonger early, people are not going to pick as much of a fight and they're going to allow you to have those free points at the end. Number 2, you get greater points for specializing, but you do end up leaving yourself vulnerable to other areas. The goal is not to end up with any zeros on your scorecard. 3, always evaluate the points you're giving away to your neighbors versus the points that you're getting yourself. If you're giving your neighbors more points than you're gaining, it's not worth making the move. All right, Weirdlings, that's Seven Wonders. Do you enjoy the game? Have you played it before? Do you play it competitively? I know some people that do that. It's kind of a little intense. Tell me what you think below in the comments. Have you liked and subscribed yet? We do this every week. And also, we have some awesome other ladies on the channel. They do cool things like comics and stuff. Like, subscribe below, do the thing.